It wasn't until I was 60 that I truly grasped how much of life I'd let slip by. That year, everything shifted as I began to reflect. Eleanor, what's held you back all these years? What have you chosen to let go? Those questions stung both a punishment and a revelation. Facing the truth wasn't easy, but the discoveries waiting for me unfolded in the most unexpected way. The air was thick with anticipation as I climbed the creaky stairs to the attic of my old Seattle home, a space I'd avoided for over a decade. Since Henry, my husband of 35 years, passed, the attic had become a silent sanctuary for memories too painful to touch. But that day, a sudden resolve surged within me, urging me to confront it head-on. The attic was exactly as I remembered, a labyrinth of dusty boxes, forgotten treasures, and the musty scent of time that caught in my throat. As I approached the first box, I opened it carefully, revealing a photo album untouched for years. The sight of it froze me, a wave of nostalgia crashing over my heart. I lifted the cover, and the first image seized my attention. There I was at 21, standing on a sun-drenched beach in Oregon, one hand clutching a cocktail, laughter spilling from me as if the world had melted away. I wore a vibrant yellow bikini, oversized sunglasses perched on my nose, radiating a carefree confidence that felt untouchable. That youthful, radiant version of me stirred something deep within. As I turned the pages, footsteps echoed. Startled, I glanced up to see Nathan, my step-grandson, at the threshold. It had been 3 years since I'd last seen him, not since he left for work. At 30, he was no longer the lanky boy I remembered. He'd grown into a strikingly handsome man, broad-shouldered with piercing blue eyes and short dark hair that caught the dim attic light. Eleanor, he called, holding a paper bag in one hand, a coffee cup in the other. Nathan. I replied, a mix of surprise and genuine joy flooding me. What brings you here? Saw your car out front, he said, a casual smile spreading across his lips. Thought I'd check on you. Before I could protest, he stepped deeper into the attic, his gaze sweeping the room until it landed on the album clutched in my hands. What's that? He asked, curiosity sparking in his eyes. Just an old album, I mumbled, holding it close. But Nathan stepped closer, taking the album without a word and flipping to the beach photo. His eyes widened, lingering on the image. Is this you? He asked, no hesitation. It is. I admitted, a nervous laugh escaping. He stared at the photo longer than I expected. Wow, he finally said, locking eyes with me. You were stunning. Hard to picture you like this. His voice, a blend of admiration and awe, sent a flush to my cheeks. We sat together and he turned the pages with gentle care. Each photo unveiled a piece of me I'd long buried, a version dancing in a sparkling red dress at a nightclub, another barefoot at a rooftop party, moving with a freedom that felt like a distant dream. You were wild, Nathan remarked, his tone tinged with disbelief. Everyone has their wild years, I said, brushing it off lightly. But as I watched him study each photo with such curiosity, a strange warmth bloomed inside me, a feeling dormant for years. Our conversation flowed effortlessly as we delved deeper into the album, laughing over past hairstyles and reflecting on life's profound changes. Yet amidst those shared moments, the air between us shifted. When Nathan closed the album, his eyes lingered on me. You're remarkable, Eleanor, he whispered. Something about this moment. It's like I'm meeting you for the first time. His words stole my breath, their intensity piercing through years of feeling unseen. I didn't know how to respond, so I stayed silent, trusting my face conveyed the emotions I couldn't articulate. Nathan reached out, taking my hand with a warmth both comforting and firm. "Eleanor," he said softly, "your beauty, it's beyond ordinary. It's extraordinary." My heart raced as our eyes met, a connection sparking that I hadn't felt in decades. After years of feeling invisible, I was seen not just as a widow, but as the woman I once was. That moment changed everything. The days following were charged with new energy. Nathan stayed longer than planned, helping clear the attic. We sifted through boxes for hours, laughter echoing as we uncovered forgotten trinkets and fragments of my past. But it wasn't just the attic stirring life in those fleeting moments, it was me. One afternoon, digging through old clothes, I found an emerald green dress, its bold neckline and fitted waist a favorite from my 20s. Nostalgia flooded me, vivid and bittersweet. "Try it on," Nathan urged, his blue eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. I hesitated. "Oh, I doubt it even fits now." "Only one way to find out," he said, a grin breaking across his face. Spurred by his encouragement, I slipped into the dress. To my shock, it hugged me perfectly, like it had been waiting all these years. When I stepped out, Nathan's face became unreadable. "You look incredible," he whispered. His intense gaze warmed my cheeks, reigniting a confidence long buried. As days passed, Nathan and I fell into a bond both comforting and unsettling. An inexplicable force drew us closer, a connection I couldn't define or dismiss. But guilt lingered. One late evening, as I washed dishes in the kitchen, Nathan appeared behind me, his hand resting gently on my shoulder. His touch sent a shiver down my spine. "You're overthinking again," he said softly, as if reading my mind. "How can I not?" I whispered. "This isn't normal." "Who decides what's normal?" he countered. His words hung in the air, challenging everything I believed. After he'd gone to bed, I sat alone in the living room staring at the album. Those youthful photos felt like another person, a fearless, unapologetic woman. "Where did she go?" I whispered to myself. The answer was simple, weighed down by years of responsibility, grief, and persistent helplessness. But Nathan's presence sparked her revival. His visits became routine, each departure leaving an ache. One evening, as the sun dipped below Seattle's skyline, casting a golden glow on the porch, he turned to me, me. His expression serious. "Eleanor, I don't know how to say this without it sounding wrong, but I've never felt this way about anyone before." My breath caught a storm of emotions swirling. "I know," I said, my voice trembling. "It's complicated. It doesn't have to be," he replied, his voice steady. "We'll figure it out together." The path ahead was fraught with challenges, scrutiny, doubt, endless questions about our bond. But one truth stood firm. We'd found something extraordinary, undeniable. After years of numbness, I felt alive, vibrant. Looking into Nathan's eyes, I realized life was too short to let fear hold me back. That porch conversation left me reeling, Nathan's words echoing in my mind. The idea of pursuing something beyond our bond felt impossible, yet fated. I knew the whispers would come, the judgment inevitable. Neighbors' murmurs already hummed in my ears, and my family, Henry's family, would see it as a betrayal. Henry had been gone over a decade. Was it wrong to find joy again? One day, sifting through old letters, I found one from Henry sealed in an envelope labeled "Eleanor, when you need it most." My hands trembled as I broke the seal. Nathan sat silently beside me, sensing the weight. In Henry's neat handwriting, the words transcended time. "If you're reading this, I'm gone. My greatest joy was loving you. But life goes on. If someone brings you laughter or reflects your beauty and vitality, embrace it fully. Cherish them. cherish our life. Tears streamed down my face. Nathan's hand rested on my back, anchoring me as I absorbed Henry's final gift, a blessing I didn't expect but desperately needed. "You okay?" he asked softly. "I think so," I said, my voice shaky, but I was a tangle of relief, gratitude, and the weight of possibility. Even with Henry's blessing, the road wasn't easy. Every moment with Nathan crackled with energy, his subtle strength and joyful squint captivating me. One evening in the kitchen, our hands brushed over a cutting board. The touch lingered electric, our eyes locking in silent understanding. "This is complicated," I whispered, my heart pounding. "It doesn't have to be," he said, setting the board aside, his blue eyes unwavering. "You're not just a widow or an older woman to me. You're you." I turned away, unable to meet his gaze. "They'll talk, they'll judge." "Let them," he said confidently. "They don't know us, our struggles, what we mean to each other." His certainty was both comforting and terrifying. Soon, whispers spread. A neighbor saw Nathan leave late one night, gossip igniting. By the next week, murmurs turned bold. At the market, I overheard two women, Eleanor of all people with her step-grandson, disgusting. She should be ashamed. Their words cut deep, but I walked past head high, refusing to acknowledge them. At home, Nathan waited on the porch. His steady presence broke me, tears spilling. "They're talking about us," I mumbled. "Let them," he said, pulling me into a warm embrace. "They don't matter." But it wasn't just strangers. My daughter Lily exploded with fury. "How could you, Mom?" she yelled, pacing the living room. "He's practically family." "He's not," I said calmly. "Not by blood, and not in the way you think." "That doesn't make it right," she snapped. I handed her Henry's letter, hoping for clarity. Her face softened as she read, but doubt lingered. "I don't get it," she whispered. "He's so much younger. What could he see in you?" Her words pierced me, but I stood firm. "He sees me, Lily. Not a widow, not an old woman, a woman worthy of love." As weeks turned to months, Nathan and I faced the storm of judgment together. At times, the pressure felt crushing, tempting me to walk away. But Nathan reminded me why we fought, reawakening parts of me long hidden. We danced again, a passion I'd abandoned in my 30s. We hiked, explored new restaurants, planned a weekend at the coast. I no longer cared about others' opinions. I embraced my happiness even if it defied norms. One day, as I tended my garden, Lily pulled into the driveway, her face a mix of uncertainty and resolve. "Can we talk?" she asked softly. We sat on the porch, the late afternoon sun wrapping us in golden light. "I've been thinking about what you said," she began. "I've spent my life chasing others' expectations, and it's made me miserable. But you're brave, Mom. You're happy." Tears welled as I reached for her hand. "I just want you to be happy," I said. "I'm trying," she replied, a faint smile breaking through. The whispers faded as loved ones began to accept us. One starry night on the porch, Nathan took my hand. "Eleanor, you've given me a home, a purpose, a love I never thought possible." My heart swelled. "You brought me back to life," I said. We made a choice against adversity, judgment, doubt, a love that transcended norms, rekindling our souls. Eleanor and Nathan's unconventional love story reveals a profound truth. Happiness lies beyond society's approval. Their courage to embrace desire amidst criticism affirms love and self-discovery. What do you think of their journey? Is it a bold expression of love, or do you see it differently? Share your thoughts below. We value your insights on this profound story. If it resonates, like, share, and subscribe for more stories that inspire, stir emotions, and spark reflection. Hit the bell to never miss a moment. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to connecting in the next one.